This story is called Remember the Duck. Okay. There was a little boy named Johnny visiting his grandparents on their farm. He was given a slingshot to play with out in the woods. He practiced and practiced, but he could never hit the target. Getting a little discouraged, he headed back for dinner. As he was walking back, he saw Grandma's pet duck. Just out of impulse, not thinking anything, he let the slingshot fly. Hit the duck square in the head and killed it. His grandmother's pet duck. He was shocked and grieved. That means he was surprised and he felt really bad about what he'd done. In a panic, he hid the dead duck in the woodpile, only to see his sister was watching. Sally had seen it all, but said nothing. After lunch the next day, Grandma said, "Sally, let's wash the dishes." But Sally said, "Grandma, Johnny told me he wanted to help you in the kitchen." Then she leaned over to her brother and said, "Remember the duck?" So Johnny did the dishes. Later that day, Grandpa asked if the kids wanted to go fishing. And Grandma said, "I'm sorry, but I need Sally to stay and help me make supper." Sally just smiled and said, "Well, that's all right, because Johnny told me he wanted to stay and help you tonight." Then she whispered again to him, "Remember the duck?" So Sally went fishing, Johnny stayed to help make supper. After several days of Johnny doing both his chores and his sister's, he finally couldn't stand it any longer. The guilt was eating him alive. He came to his grandma and confessed he had killed the duck and hid it in the woodpile. Grandma knelt down, gave him a big hug, and said, "Sweetheart, I know about the duck. You see, I was standing at the window, and I saw the whole thing, and I've already forgiven you." Then Johnny asked her, "Well, then how come you didn't say anything if you saw what I did?" That's when she told him she was just waiting for him to come and confess what he had done. Then she told him, "I was just wondering how long you would let Sally make a slave out of you." Then she told him, "And you remember what I'm going to tell you today and every day for the rest of your life. Whatever is in your past, whatever you have done, and the devil keeps throwing it up in your face. Whether it be a lie you told, fear you have, hatred for someone, anger at someone, not being able to forgive someone, or just being plain mad all the time about something someone has done. The list goes on and on. But whatever it is, you need to know that God was standing at the window and saw the whole thing. He wants you to know that He loves you and that you are already forgiven. God has seen your whole life. He's just wondering how long you will let the devil make a slave out of you. The great thing about God is that when you ask for forgiveness, He not only forgives you, but He forgets all your sins. It is by God's grace and mercy that we are saved. And remember, God is at the window. Okay. Now, before you say anything, I want you to know that I never tell you a story or read a story without trying to find God's words to go with it. Okay? Guess what? I found it in the Bible. You ready? This is what I think God's words in the Bible mean about this story. It's from a chapter called Ephesians. The Ephesians were a church that the Apostle Paul wrote to. They were having trouble in their church, and he wrote them these letters, okay? Wrote all kinds of letters to the Corinthians, the Ephesians, the Thessalonians, the Romans, okay? And in one of them, he wrote in Ephesians 4:31 and 32. Stop being mean, Jonathan. Stop being mean, bad-tempered, and angry. Arguing, harsh words, and dislike of others should have no place in your life. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, and forgiving of one another, just as God has forgiven you because you belong to Christ. Remember the